In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, it's Trap. And in the top left, as the blue Zerg, it's Estrella. It's not Estrella, it's Solar. Those logos.sc2 mod memes, bro. Solar with a hatch first. Estrella. Oh my god. That's terrible. Trap falling off at the natural. Forge going down. Interesting. Trap moves into position with a probe. There is an Overlord here to see cannons at the front. But I think... Okay, there's a couple things that could be happening. Okay, he is going to try and get a cannon down. There isn't a second probe, though. The cannon rush has begun. I don't think Solar's going to commit, or Trap's going to commit anymore to this. The cannons should finish right after this hatchery. Yeah, it's going to be about 4 or 5 seconds. But Slower already taken a third. Oh, okay. Trap is going to commit more to this. All right. And it looks like he's going to begin a cannon rush here. Over at the third as well. Both these cannons are in range of the ramp. This one should be able to clip like right around here as well. So any links that go to help save the third, if Trap wants to cannon rush over there, are going to take attrition. Alright, Solar's going to get out a couple at the natural. Queen will be able to shut this down eventually from the high ground. And Adept's gonna head up the ramp. Maybe. Queen and Forlings are enough to shut her down, but the Queen doesn't notice, and there's gonna be at least a couple dead drones. Or one. Stargate behind this. For Trap. I think Solar's taking like a lot of unnecessary losses here, just through control mistakes. You know, running those lings in, losing them to the cannons. Trap with 10 kills on one cannon, 5 kills on the other, as these drones are finally able to transfer to the third. But, I mean, worker count pretty even. An Oracle coming out for Trap. The Overlord sees it, and Super sees it now. It Ultra sees it. Solar's gonna have time to get Spore Crawlers down. He does have a couple Queens out. The third a little bit more vulnerable than the main, but Wings are gonna pull the Oracle back home as well. 2 Adepts should be enough to shut this down on their own. Trap with the second Oracle. Going to try and move in here. Try and find some damage. This natural is pretty vulnerable. Yeah, both queens gonna go to defend, but even still, 2 oracles can snipe at least a couple drones before they have to back out against 2 queens. Three drones get shot down. Spore repositioning. Robo facility and the natural. Or trap. Twilight Council is going to be the second tech choice. And a double forge, so he really wants to go off this 3 base at least macro play, get some upgrades for himself. Gonna have to see what he researches out of the Twilight Council first. Solar. Going for roach speed, getting out a couple defensive units. Going for an infestation pit. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this could possibly be Swarm Host. There's every chance in the world it could be Swarm Host. Dozen drones go down. Trap's gonna pay for it with the loss of an Oracle. But definitely worth the trade. Solar drops the 4th base. Templar Archives about to finish for the Protoss, a Warp Prism coming out, +1 armor and weapons on the way, as well as charge coming from the Twilight Council. It is going to be a Swarm Host play from Solar. We're going to have to see how these 2 compositions stack up. Okay, there's the Nidus Network from Solar. So he readies to go on the attack, but he's going to have to hold Trap's push here. Solar does have a Nidus down. It looks like he wants to use these Swarm Hosts defensively, at least for now. Yeah, if Trap tries to engage here, he will get absolutely crushed by the ground army, let alone the Locusts. Okay, War Prism able to save the Immortal. Trap's gonna retreat across the bridge. Locust getting ever closer to being off cooldown. Bunch of shield batteries being thrown down to defend for Trap. One Nidus will get shut down, the other Nidus gonna get shut down as well. Solar's angry, he's pushing in with the bulk of the ground forces. This is a lot of Storm here with Trap's army. He's going to have to use it wisely, though. Only 2 Storms left. Locust in on the cannons, shield batteries, with dwindling energy. A hard-fought battle from both players, but Solar has the best of it. 134 army supply to 84. He's going to try and push in on this third, take out some production, and get in on that probe line. Does Trap have enough to hold it? 3 Immortals are pretty freaking good, especially with the Warp Prism, but one of them does go down. Warp Prism a little bit out of position to micro them back. Trap trying to storm the Locust Wave, but it will reach the natural. This is ground forces try to stave off the Roach Ravager Ball. 1 storm left on this army. Couple more on the way as that energy regenerates. Mothership coming out for Trap. There aren't any Overseers with this army, so this could be the play that allows Trap to hold. He has to hold until it reaches the field, though. This gateway on the left, low health, will go down. Versatile shutting down those additional buildings. Guardian Shells absorbing a lot of damage on those Immortals. Mothership seconds away from completion. Oh no, the Locusts surround the ground army. Corrosive Biles hit it because they are trapped in. I think Solar's done it. I think Solar has broken Trap here. The Mothership still has about 4 seconds left on the production tab. Solar Biles one of his own Ravagers, but it's fine. GG is called. Solar takes game number 1. So many Astrayas in the top left as the red Protoss. It's Trap. And in the bottom right as the blue Zerg, it's Solar. Solar taking game number 1. With relentless aggression. Swarm Host, Roach Ravager push. At Trap's third, the Trap was just never quite able to stave off. Trap went for a Mothership, which is a pretty expensive economic investment, and the gamble did not pay off. The third fell, or the army fell to a Locust Wave, got trapped in, got hit with Corrosive Bile. Seconds before the Mothership was able to hit the field. Hey, thanks so much for the follow, Joe871. Standard hatch gas pool. Out of Solar. Trap going into Stargate. Getting out an Adept. The Adept shades forward. Forlings are going to tag onto it. The Queen firing with the Forlings would kill the Adept before it could do any real damage. So, Trap going to cancel the Shade. Just continue to use it for scouting purposes. It is going to be a Phoenix first out of Trap, followed closely by the Oracle. So Overlord is of course going to know that the first tech building is a Stargate, given that it's dying to a Phoenix. So we're going to be worried about what that second tech building is going to be. But for now, when you see a Stargate, you know, you drone up, drone up, drone up. Get more queens out. Throw your spores down. It's a little bit interesting, Solar throwing those spores down early, actually. When it's a Phoenix first, you can usually start those spores up at around the 4-minute mark. You can see that the Oracle just about to hit now. Queen's ready to intercept. It's not going to make it into that main. Might swoop around to the third or something like that to try and find damage. It's actually going to wait for the second Oracle, go in with the Phoenix. The Phoenix is going to get a lift on a Queen. Limit the damage that can be done here to the Protoss Air Force just a little bit and try and roast some drones. It's going to be a second Stargate from Trap. Trap getting up a third Nexus. Solar going into Infestation Pit as these two players transition to the late game. Trap producing Mass Phoenix out of that double gateway. Going to try and diminish the drone count. Solar building a couple defensive roaches, slowly increasing his drone count. Kill on an Overlord, kill on a Queen. A nice start here for Trap. Oracle's gunning down the Zerg ground army. Phoenix finding damage where they can, and they're about to slaughter some drones. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 drones go down to these Phoenix roughly. As best as I could count, we don't have game art, guys. Yeah, I mean, Solar just moving into Hive Tech, getting down a Spire. He is going to produce a wave of another 10 drones to try and resaturate that fourth base. Roach is going to get picked off. Or a Roach, at least. Templar Archives going down for the Protoss. 4 additional gateways. Warp Prism +1 and Charge about to finish as he secures his third. I think that Trap's in a really good position going into the late game. Oracles fly over this fourth location. Trap has pretty freaking good map control right now. The creep spread isn't too crazy out of Solar. He's gonna lose a couple more Overlords at the least. Oh my god, he loses a Ravager. The Zerg can come back from these kind of losses. I mean, he's not too far down. But he's playing from behind here. He's gonna try and establish a 5th base. Trap's gonna only keep growing more powerful. He's getting +2 weapons. The Zerg going for 32 Lings, 10 Banes. +1 melee, about halfway finished. Baneling speed about to hit the field as the Protoss army sweeps in towards the 3rd base. It's gonna back out. Doesn't want to take that engagement too far onto creep. Oracle's going to try find even more damage. Warp into the main of a bunch of charge lots. 2 nice, decent Baneling connections. More Banelings rolling in. We'll clean this up. Stasis Ward goes off, trapping minimal amount of Zerg units. Still nice, though. Other 4 drones get picked off by the Phoenix. And Trap just picking Solar apart. Another 4 drones go down. Trap establishing a 4th base. Solar not really able to find his footing. He's getting Ling attack speed. He's getting greater Spire. He's trying to make another 5th base. Aw, D&D Beyond. I love dollar dogs. Bro, they're so value. With, like, mayonnaise and onions. I'm from Pennsylvania, so we have sheets just freaking everywhere. Lingbane crashes into these Zealots. Phoenix get a lift on the Queens. Oh, huge storms go down on the Lings. I think this is good for Trap. I think this is a good engagement. You can see just how much value Trap is getting here. Less than 4,000. Well, okay. 4,000 minerals lost to 9,000. Trap on that 4-base Protoss economy, able to keep Solar contained on roughly 4 bases. Just now he's moving some drones out to the 5th, but another Stasis Ward Trap slings, another few Lings crash into the Archons, go down basically for free. And this is a game of bits and pieces for Trap. Revelation cast on the Zerg army. It's not going to be able to be hidden in the fog of war for quite some time. Carrier production beginning for our Protoss as he systematically trades value against the Zerg. Phoenix, think about chasing those Corruptors. They're not going to, but the Broodlords are split off. Looks like he wants to go after the Queens first. He's gonna eat a couple Spore shots. It doesn't matter too much. Archon's coming from behind. Gonna roast the Queens. Corruptors don't want to take that Archon fire. Phoenix gonna pick off at least 1 Broodlord. At this point, I think Trap might even want to trade off a few of these Phoenix so he can clear up supply. He is maxed out. He's going for those carriers. He has enough of a bank that he can continue pumping them out. Yeah, he's just going to directly engage the Corruptors, get the best trades he can in return. as the brave value Phoenix Force meets their demise. A Ling Bane assault coming out from Solar, gonna catch at least a couple probes. Cannons will clean up the Lings. I think the Banelings making a well, are they though? Okay, they pick off a Pylon and a Zealot. Not the trades that Solar was hoping for, I'm quite sure. They are the trades he got. Solar working on hitting max out, a mothership on the field for Trap. He's moving across in a little bit of column. Yeah, that means these Archon... well, okay. So, Solar doesn't want to crash the Banelings into the Archons. He's going to cancel the space yet again. I think that's like the third or fourth time this game, at least. Five base Protoss against a 5 base Zerg. Solar trying to establish a 6 down to the bottom left as the Protoss continues to clear creep. The Broodlord army is pretty established. I mean, this is decent, but I don't know, man. Protoss is at +3 attack, +1 air weapons. He has carriers in the sky, Archons on the ground, and plenty of storm. He's trying to snipe the spores before the main army gets here. Spores, of course, do provide protection, or detection, not protection. I guess they provide protection as well, but, you know, Mothership provides cloak. Those kind of counter it, so... Trap trying to take those down. Double carrier continuing behind this. So he trades out a couple supply. Solar with quite the bank. And I think he's stabilized here. +3 melee, +2 air weapons, +2 carapace on the way for the Zerg, but I mean he's still his upgrades are very spread out, right? Like he's going for melee, he's going for also attack range, he's also going for air upgrades against the concentrated, you know, just straight +3 attack damage on the ground, and then the air commitment from Trap here. Bling's gonna pick off both of these Archons. Revelation cast on the main army. Vipers in the air, collecting energy for Solar. Trap deciding not to push in on a creep, throws down a 6th base. Zealot run by, not gonna get in on the economy. Bling's clean this up. And I honestly think that Trap may have missed his power spike to clean up Solar here. Solar throwing down defensive spines, getting out more Lings, getting out Infestors. There's upgrades getting ever nearer to completion. Trap continuing to pump out carriers. Changelings see the direction of this move in. Solar preparing with static defense. Comes the army, here come the Infestors. Nice fungal growths on those Interceptors, but it's not enough right now. I think Solar might have to sack the space, maybe? Well, here come the Vipers. Okay, there's a Neural on one of the Archons that goes down. It's able to save the base with a little less than half health. Charge lot run by. When to try and hit this base, they should be able to overwhelm those spines. Solar will be able to clean this up before the hatch goes down or anything crazy. It's gonna get all the drones out of there as well. Assimilation successful. Some more static defense cleaned up. Feedbacks on some of the infestors. Well, an infestor and one of the vipers. There's another viper. The storm actually connects with a decent amount of corruptors. +3 air weapons under development for the Zerg. +1 shields about to hit for the Protoss. Archon tries to get some damage done. It's going to be cleaned up by Neural Parasite and an Ultralisk. Protoss ground army does go down, including a few high energy, high Templar. Yeah, you're not ever getting any Lings in there. Sorry, Solar. Seventh base going down for our Blue Zerg. It's a nice chain of fungals on these carriers. It's going to take a lot more for the Zerg to clean this up. Okay, well, there's a lot more. Yoinks on the mothership, on those carriers, but not enough anti... Oh, the Corruptors are shooting the Interceptors and not the carriers! All the Viper spells are being cast. We're seeing Parasites on some of the carriers. GG is called. And Trap evens up the score 1-1. Both players have a point on the board. In the top left, as the red Protoss, once again, it's Trap. And in the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, trying to take the series, it's Solar. Nightshade, a pretty big map in the pool. And, you know, both these players showing they can take it to a macro game. Trap systematically dismantling Solar in game number 2. Dozens of drones were slaughtered by the Phoenix. He just kept patiently moving his army in, clearing up creep, backing out, moving in, trading a couple units, getting out another carrier, etc., etc., until Solar was no more. Both players opening standard. Hatch gas pool from Solar. Trap walling off at the natural, getting up a Nexus, and opening with an Adept. Will he go Stargate again? I mean, okay, well, there we have it. Wow, thanks, Trap. Thanks for answering my question. Really appreciate it. Also, thank you, Kess31, for the follow. Really appreciate it. One of my moderators is named Kasai. Now we have a Kasai and we have a Kasei. Kikasai, Kikasei, Kikato-sa. Right? Like, Mama say, Mama sa, Mama mato-sa. However that goes. Link speed about halfway finished. For a blue Zerg, he's keeping one drone in gas. Third up at a pretty normal timing. This time it will be an Oracle first from Trap. Hi, Hior Hierigi. Yes. Blue Zerg is Solar. We, for some reason, the, logo SC2 mod that was provided is not allowing for the option for name change in some lobbies, but not others. So, we got we've have many competing Estrellas tonight. Twilight Council drop for the Protoss. The robotics facility, Warp Prism on the way, and a Templar Archives dropped. That means he is indeed going for a third. Stalker pokes out to that location. Oracle. Getting ready to find purchase in the drone line. I'm just going to start eating Spore Crawler shots real quick, but still able to get 3 drones before the shields burn down. It is going to take a lot of hull damage, but highly injured Oracle is not a dead Oracle. Looks like a Ling made it through the wall. It lived a very short and painful life. Here come the Archons. For Trap, he's gonna go for the double Archon drop. He's gonna snipe the Hydra Den! Oh man, there's the cancel. He might be able to gun down this initial queen. No, Transfuse arrives in time. But that was very fortuitous for Trap. Fog of War is a cruel mistress, and a fickle mistress, and this time it was betraying Solar just a little bit. Infestation Pit dropped for the Blue Zerg. Trap wants to go for a 3-base move out. He doesn't have an observer with this army, so he's not going to be able to clear the creep up. Could have used Revelation to clear the tumors. Well, he'll get one tumor, but... Here he comes. Solar with the Swarm Host play, arriving just in time. Isn't going to be able to hold on. Charge lots absorb a lot of the Locust damage, and, you know, the high damage units are coming in now. Archon's in on the Overlord crowd. Oh no, drones being pulled to fight. They do go into the Immortals where they will trade a little bit better, but it's still not great. Here come more charge lots. Solar's defense is totally melting. Not like this, as Trap pushes into the natural. Which is getting picked off a couple at a time. Charge lots gunning things down. GG. As Trap takes the series 2-1.